How are you doing, math learners? This is your free access YouTube edu creator, Math Teacher Ash, and welcome to the part 2 of our reviewer series in preparation for the quarter 3 examination for grade 10. So, the second part will start from 11 up to 20. So, without further ado, let's do this. Question number 11. Carlos rolls a number cube with numbers from 1 to 6. Consider the event. Event A, rolling a 3. Event B, rolling a 6. How are these two events related? Is it A, they are not related because both numbers are odd? B, they are independent because rolling a 3 guarantees a 6. C, they are mutually exclusive because both numbers appear at the same time. Or letter D, they are mutually exclusive because only one number can appear in one roll. I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Alright, my dear math learners, if you have a number cube with 1 to 6 as its numbers and you roll it, my dear math learners, technically, you will have one result at a time. So, of course, there can only appear one in every roll. So, therefore, the correct answer for this one is letter D. Alright, let's check whether we are correct. Alright, easy, right? Now, let us go to question number 12. Which situation shows non-mutually exclusive events? Is it A, a student either passes or fails an exam? B, a student is either present or absent in a class? C, a student is either male or female? Or D, a student belongs to the drama club and also the music club? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners, talking about non-mutually exclusive events, these are events in which it could happen all together. Meaning there is a similar chances that it could happen together. Okay, so if that would be the case, among the 4 choices given, the only event that could happen together is letter D. You could be in the drama club, you could also be in the music club. Alright, so the correct answer here is letter D. Alright, let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? Now, of course, if you are a student, you cannot pass and fail at the same time. If you are a student, you cannot be present or absent at the same time. If you are a student, you cannot be either a male or a female at the same time. So that is not under the non-mutually exclusive events. I hope you got that one. Now, let us go to question number 13. Which pair of events does not affect each other? Is it A, picking a candy after another candy is removed from a jar with 4 chocolates and 5 caramels? D, drawing 2 cards from a deck without replacing the first card drawn? C, picking a marble after another marble is removed from a bag? Or D, tossing a coin and rolling a number cube? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners, talking about events that does not affect each other, this means that they have a separate experiment, okay? Or the probability of one does not affect the probability of the other. Okay, and among the 4 choices here, only letter D is the applicable and the reasonable and the logical answer. Tossing a coin and rolling a number cube, because tossing a coin has a 1/2 probability and rolling a number cube has a 1/6 probability, which does not affect with each other. Alright, so letter D. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? Now, let us go to question number 14. In a school, some students play volleyball and some play badminton. The teacher wants to know the chance that a student plays volleyball when it is already known that the student plays badminton. Which concept is used to describe this situation? Is it A, conditional probability, B, random probability, C, experimental probability, or D, simple probability? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Alright, my dear math learners, in this question, we are considering a probability of an event occurring given that another event has already occurred. So, in that case, among the 4 choices here, that is under, very good, conditional probability. Okay, so letter A would be the correct answer. Let's check whether we are correct. Alright, I hope you got that one, my dear math learners. So, now, let us go to question number 15. A father has 2 children. He says, at least one of my children is a boy. Which situation best illustrates the same type of probability reasoning as the father's statement? Is it A, a bag contains 5 green and 4 yellow marbles? If you pick one green marble, what is the chance the next is also green? B, a coin is flipped twice. If at least one flip shows head, what is the chance both flips show heads? C, a student is chosen from a class. If the student is wearing a uniform, what is the chance another student chosen also wears a uniform? Or D, a family has 2 vehicles. If at least one vehicle is a car, finding among the choices that is similar to the situation, of course, what is the chance both vehicles are motorcycles? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Alright, my dear math learners. So, in terms of this situation from the father in terms of children, we are talking about the gender. So, the gender has only 2 choices, a boy and a girl, right? So, therefore, among the 4 choices here, only one situation that has also 2 choices, and that is letter B, a coin, because a coin can only have heads or tails. So, letter B would be the logical answer. Let's check whether we are correct. Alright, easy, right? Now, let us go to question number 16. During a birthday party, a raffle draw is held. There are 25 participants and 6 different prizes. Each participant can win only one prize. What type of permutation can be used to determine the number of possible ways to select the raffle winners? Is it A, permutation of n objects taken all at a time? B, distinguishable permutation? C, circular permutations? Or D, permutation of n objects taken r at a time? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Alright, my dear math learners, it is very easy to distinguish the answer for this question. Why? Because there are 25 participants and only 6 prizes to be given. So therefore, there could be 25 as our n and 6 as our r. That would satisfy the permutation of n objects taken r at a time. Letter D is the correct answer. Let's check whether we are correct. Alright, easy, right? Now let us go to question number 17. A teacher drew some collinear points on the board. From these points, she was able to draw 30 rays. In the formula for permutation of n objects taken r at a time, what should be the value of r if we want to determine how many points were initially drawn? Is it A, 30, B, 3, C, 2, or D, 1? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Alright, my dear math learners, in order for us to solve this one, it says here that in order to make a ray, you need at least 2 points because 1 point for the end point and another point that would be continuing all throughout with the arrow. Okay, if that would be the case, my dear math learners, your r will be 2. By solving the n, we would attain or obtain the value of 6 because 6 taken 2 at a time, which is at least 2 of the arrays, then that would give us 6 times 5, which is equal to 30 rays. Of course, the question here is what is the value of r? Automatically, that is 2. Okay, letter C. Let's check whether we are correct. Alright, my dear math learners. So again, we are solving the value of r here, and basically, in terms of collinear points, array needs at least 2 points. Alright. So now let us go to question number 18. Which of the following situation illustrates distinguishable permutation? Is it A, arranging the letters of the word wonderful? B, naming the lines formed by choosing 2 points from 8 points on a number line? C, ordering a meal that consists of 1 appetizer and 2 main dishes from 8 appetizers options and 6 main dish options? Or letter D, determining the number of ways the numbers 5, 8, 2, 6, 5, and 7 can be arranged. I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners, if you still remember our discussion earlier about distinguishable permutation, this is a kind of permutation where objects are identical. So if we check among the 4 choices, letter A, the word wonderful does not have any letter that is repeating. So therefore, among the four choices here, only letter D has the repeating given because of the number 5 here. So therefore, the correct answer is letter D for distinguishable permutation. Let's check whether we are correct. Alright, I hope you got that one, my dear math learners. So now let us go to question number 19. Which of the following statements best differentiates permutation from combination? Is it A, the formula for permutation is more complicated than the formula for combination? B, the permutation is a selection of items where combination is an arrangement of items. C, combinations are used when repetition is allowed, while permutations are used when repetition is not allowed. Or D, permutation involves arranging objects in a specific order, while combination involves selecting objects where order does not matter. I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners, we have been discussing this earlier in our previous question, that permutation is an arrangement where order matters and a combination is an arrangement where the order does not matter. So the correct answer from these four options is letter D. Alright, let's check whether we are correct. Okay, easy, right? So now let us go to question number 20. A teacher brings a bag containing 12 balls. 6 yellow, 4 green, and 2 orange. She asked the students to pick one ball at a random from the bag. Which of the following statements correctly explains the probability of picking a green ball? Is it A, the probability of picking a green ball is 1/3 because there are 3 colors in the bag? B, the probability of picking a green ball is 4 out of 12 because there are 4 green balls out of 12 total balls? C, the probability of picking a green ball is 6 out of 12 because there are 6 yellow balls in the bag? Or D, the probability of picking a green ball is 4 because there are 4 green balls? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners, this question is very easy. Why? Because number 1, we are talking about 12 balls, and second is we are trying to pick green out of that 12 balls, and the number of green is 4. So there are 4 out of 12. And 4 out of 12 is in letter D. Okay, let's check whether we are correct. Alright, my dear math learner, easy, right? I hope you got that one. So, my dear math learners, congratulations for finishing half of the reviewer series. We have already in the halfway because we have finished 20 questions. Question is, how many correct answers have you gotten? Please share it in our comment section below. And of course, if you think that this could help other people, please share this to your fellow friends, classmates, and schoolmates. Without further ado, let's go to part 3.